Hello, I'm Dr. Angelica Underwood, and I welcome you today to the power of language and intuition. You know, we can break through uh, the code, we can break through using the code and of wisdom and understanding of how we can use our intuition and our language in order to proceed and move through obstacles that we encounter through a journey. So, I'm really happy that you've decided to join me today. For those of you that are new, I am an influential leader, a spiritual business mentor, and I'm the founder of the largest network and referring organization across the globe. It's called and known Match Entrepreneurs, and I'm the founder of Virtual Mystery Schools. Now, if you showed up today we have the code of 9. And how am I getting the 9? Well, if you add 7 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 4, it adds up to 9. You know, I am an astronumerologist, and that's one of the tools that I use when I'm working with people that I coach and I guide them. We really go deep into understanding your blueprint. So today's a powerful number for you because the 9 represents unconditional love, and it's humanitarian number also. So be of service and find someone that you can assist and help, but with no conditions. No conditions at all. Do it because you love it, and it's because it's calling you and it's coming from your heart. Now, I also want to focus on August 2014. That number that we get starting in August is a beautiful number because it adds up to 15. It's the spiritual alchemist number in numerology. Now, the number 15 is beautiful because if you are truly on purpose and aligned with what you should be doing in life and in business, oh my God, anything you touch, you can transform, guys, in this month. The only thing I will caution you with the number 15, you see, the number 15 adds up to the number 6 in the triad of self-expression, feelings, and creativity. So you might be caught up in a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings. So catch yourself. Catch yourself when you're tapping in to these feeling stuff and recognize that you need to go deeper with it instead of reacting and then kind of feeling bad about what the decisions that you've made because you're reacting. You know, the number 15 will bring that emotions, especially this month. Your emotions might run higher than usual, so try to center yourself and really pay attention to what your mind and body is saying. You know, I will go deeper into the intuitive part so that you really determine if your body is feeling tight and your mind is like having all this it's a chatterbox, you know, and you really want to be able to say, okay, am I really in alignment with my thought and my emotions, you know, or if your emotions are really sad, then become in alignment with the true decisions that you really, really want to make and that you won't regret this month, okay? Now, for those of you that are into astronumerology and love it, because I love astronumerology, the full moon is taking place, and it brings the energy of a fearless quality, so that you can expand and grow. Okay, so really take advantage of this energy where you're going to feel like taking risk. Now, if you look at the astronumerology chart and you see the full moon, it's at 18 degrees. Now, 18 degrees adds to 9, so we've been talking about the 9 when we started. It adds to the 9. It's all about love. So watch your intimate relationships, because 6 and 9, because we said 15 adds to 6, and then today's date adds to 9, and then when you're looking at the full moon, it's at 18 degrees, so it is it adds to 9. You need to really evaluate your relationships so that you could take them to the next level. It's really beautiful. You need to evaluate whether you need to get rid of some of these relationships, or if you need to go further with some of them. This is the time to do that because of the energy that we're going into. So evaluate the frequencies, evaluate the personalities, evaluate what's really happening, and begin to make those decisions, because again, the number 9 is the unconditional love, but it also relates to ending unfinished business. So if you have not finished some of these either projects or you have unfinished business with people, then stop and go within and find a way to really put an ending to this relationship in a healthy way so that your spirit expands and it grows, and you take your whole life to a different level. It's not about who said what first and who did what. It's about taking the opposites of energies of, let's say if you're in the victim role and you want to take it to victory, then instead of blaming and saying you, take responsibility for some of the things that are happening to you and figure out the language that you're using and tap into the language that the other person is also probably saying, and then say, okay, am I being a victim? Am I being the martyr? And if you are, then it's time to take responsibility for your stuff and say, you know what, because it takes two people, not just one. It takes 2 people to tango, right? So you cannot just blame one person. And when you stop and reflect and you say, okay, what responsibility or what actions do I need to take responsibility for, so that you begin to shift and begin to take action and begin to making new decisions in this whole relationship area. Now, I do have a little PowerPoint that I want to share, so just be patient with me. I am not being distracted here. I'm just going to move it over here and just make it a lot easier for me to kind of begin with this. I do have the animal intuitive that's going to be with me. She will be on the call very shortly, so don't feel that I am getting offline. I am always talking about my material at the beginning of any webinar, and then I introduce people like Susan Rini, who is the animal intuitive. But right now, I will continue talking about the intuitive part and the decision makings that you have to make. Okay? So here we go. Beautiful. Breaking the wealth code with wisdom. And this is what I've been talking about for a while. I've been talking, I've been talking about that when you really begin to understand language, okay, and intuition, you don't have to work as hard as we normally do. I mean, sometimes it's really difficult and we're like, what decisions do I make? What do I do? What are the first steps, and so on and so forth. We get too involved in the logistic part of things instead of tapping into our intuitive part. And again, NLP really basically means neuro-linguistic programming. We are programmed and we use certain language to communicate with people, okay? We have Susan on the call, so give me a second. She's going to be with us right now. Hello? Hi. Just a second. I'm going to introduce you and finish this little piece, and I will bring you in the call. Susan, I will be with you. Hold on. I'm going to put you on speaker. Okay, she's on the call. She's joined us. So Welcome, Susan. I'm going to go ahead and finish up just my thoughts, and then I'm going to introduce you to our audience. We were talking about NLP and intuition, and then how do you increase that intuition? Well, you get in touch with the senses, both the inner and the outer senses, such as the smell, the taste, touch, and vision. But you go deeper with it within that sensations that you're feeling, and you also need to trust what the self-image believes, okay? And we'll get deeper into what the self-image looks like, because many times you're going to try to figure out, is it intuition or is it a belief system? Is it a memory? But it takes practice and practice. And whenever you get stuck in the mind, then you're going to experience resistance. And that's going to occur in your body, the mind, and the soul. And that happens when the body, the mind, and the soul are in conflict. So you need to pay attention. Pay attention so that you do get in touch with your intuition, and you begin to resolve, like I said at the beginning, unresolved issues, unresolved thoughts, so that you really go deeper with that. I'm going to leave my story towards the end because we have Susan on the call. Susan Rini is an intuitive, animal intuitive, and I am so glad that you're here, Susan. Do you want to tell our audience more about yourself so that we can begin the call with that?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, first, thank you for having me, Angelica.
You're welcome. Thank you for being on the call.
Yeah, and I was just listening to what you were finishing up, and I was just thinking, so many of us don't trust our intuition, and it's the same way with what I do is talking to animals, is that you have to have a deep sense of trust and write down, what you get from an animal or your intuition, even if it's a subtle voice, and trust it, and trust that, this could be right. Mm-hmm. So many of us don't trust it. And in our lives, we've always had those red flags about things, and then we just skirt it under the table, and then, a year or two later, we remember we had the red flags about a job or a relationship or something like that. And it works the same way with animals. So that was a great topic.
Yes, and well, tell us more about yourself. How did you begin, this career in animal intuitive? How did it all start?
Well, I was always, what people would refer to as a hypersensitive child, Mm-hmm. And I always had this special bond with animals. Always loved animals from the time I'm a little girl. I remember if I get injured in my house or my hands got burnt on the toaster, my dad would throw me in the car and take me down to the local petting zoo. He knew that would kind of mellow me out, and I would go into my happy place, like of sheer bliss and excitement. There's not a lot of things that do that to me in life other than animals. Mm-hmm. And, that's how I feel around them, and I think they feel that around me. It's like this sense of deep love and just bliss around them. And, how I really discovered that I was doing this work was I was not able to ride horses. I had an injury. I needed surgery. But a friend of mine that ran a ranch over here in Southern California said, why don't you just come up and love on Leo? And so I would go up to the ranch every week, drive my 38 miles, and it didn't matter to me that I couldn't ride him. I just put him in cross ties, and I massaged him and gave him carrots and just loved this horse. And what was odd is, I was getting these things in my head, and I was thinking, oh, I'm some crazy woman, this really hasn't happened. Or I would cry. He told me a story when he was branded in Germany at his ranch, and he said how painful it was, and I would have tears in my eyes over it. And I would just think, oh, this isn't really happening. I poo-pooed it, and I went. I remember I had this incident with him where I had scheduled the surgery on a Monday to finally take care of this issue so I could ride horses again and be in my life. And I I was standing on one leg taking care of him, and I knew I had to get off this leg, so I said, telepathically in my head, I said, okay, buddy, if you're not going to put your head in my hands and let me love your face, then I'm getting out of here, and you won't see me for 7 weeks. And it's like, as soon as the words went out of my head to him, I thought I was seeing things. And then his eyes dilated, his ears came forward, and his head dropped right into my hands, and he closed his eyes. And I went, oh my God.
That's beautiful.
It was an experience. And in my recuperation, I took a fun little animal intuition class, and there was no stress, and I just thought, this will be fun, And the teacher said that I, told me my accuracies, and I was like, is she really telling me the truth? And I still didn't trust it. And then what I did was I loved doing it. So I just got everybody that I knew and said to them, hey, do you know anybody that wants a free reading, an animal intuition reading? And you should see how everybody gathered with excitement. And I read about 100 animals. And I was accurate, and it was getting so crazy that I had to start charging because people were just texting me photos and giving me the name of the pet. And half these people, I couldn't make details of who referred them and how they found out about me. So I remember I talked to this one dog, and in the beginning I was so sensitive. I couldn't modulate my sensitivity, and this woman sent me a picture of the dog, and I wasn't even ready to talk to him. And I open up the picture, and the dog is like screaming, so nervous that he needs to walk. I need to walk, they're not walking me, and he just wouldn't shut up. So I just started, how I work is I meditate. When I feel really relaxed, I open up my eyes and I start writing about the animal. And I just wrote, and the woman called me that night, and I told her everything the animal said, which is, I don't like my mom. She's breathing too shallow at night. She's working too much. I'm not getting out on walks because my backyard is concrete. All I have is, there's no grass to smell. She needs to get out on a walk with me. And I told this woman everything I said, and I said, does this make sense to you? She said, absolutely. And I said, well, can you be specific? She goes, everything you said is true. So I said, okay.
Oh my God.
There was something about her being sad over a man in her life, but she didn't want to really discuss it or get into, what was going on. And then she said, I picked up an extra 20 hours at work. I've gained weight. I'm not taking care of myself. My dog's not getting walked. So I was really accurate. And then, but I didn't know this. After I got off the phone with her, she said, I want to follow your career. And I said, thanks, at the very beginning. And all I heard was, she didn't know I was still on the line, and I heard her go, oh my God, to her kids or whoever was in the house with her. And I kind of laughed, and then 5 minutes later, she's texting me photos of the dog on a walk.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And the thing was, his whole expression on his face changed. It was like I connected with this animal, and I was able to express to the family what this animal needed. And I thought, this is like a gift that I have to treasure and do more and more and more of. And that's how really it all started. That, and I have to tell you the truth, I meditated every day, and it was about a year into my meditation that, I realized that I could really do this.
That's beautiful. So I've always talked about intuition, and I've started this webinar to help people understand what intuition is and help them connect with intuition, because when I was a little girl, I was very connected to my intuition. I had no guidance, absolutely. So I know that there's a lot of people out there, a lot of listeners that would like to know, what is your experience as an intuitive? Is it voice? Is it vision? Do you see pictures, or are you actually hearing voices, or is it like words that are coming to you? Or is it feelings? Can you kind of explain and help people out there understand your your way of being intuitive?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I have to say is most people don't trust that it's a very, very, very quiet voice, and it's like an idea.
It is.
Calm voice. It's a, you know, it's a still voice. It's not a nervous energy voice where you're going to blurt out and tell somebody, oh, you know, your dog, blah, 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 blah. It's not like that. It's just, I remember the teacher that I took the class with, she said, just let your weirdo flow. So I just wrote everything that came to my mind. And it's the same, I think, with intuition, but first you have to calm the mind. And the only way to calm the mind for me is through meditation. And so that's why I try to clear myself of anything that happened during the day and, you know, just let it all go and relax and let every part of my body relax, starting with my feet, my heels. And I imagine like roots coming out of my feet to ground me all the way to the center of the earth. And then I feel like this white light go through my head. And then I feel ready to, because I feel clear enough to, you know, get responses from the animal that are real. And I just wrote it, you know, I write everything down. And that my experience is that it's very subtle. And that's why I write it all down, because I don't want to miss it. And it's like a casual, like nothing. Like I remember I was doing this reading for little white Maltese in a bomber jacket, and I was, you know, talking to the dog, and he was saying how his mom traveled too much, and he doesn't like to go with her in planes because of her energy was so nervous. He would feel the nervousness, and he would be frightened. He thought it was something to be frightened about, and you know, he was saying very, very general things about how she needed to calm down, and I went and I told her, and she was like, because it sounds like everybody in America today is rushing around or on planes for work or whatever. But then I said to the dog, could you tell me anything that your mom will like believe me? And he said to me, well, I love Mexican food, and I had some the last 5 days, and I heard it. I said, there's no way I'm going to tell this woman that. She's not going to believe me. It's a little purebred 5-pound Maltese. And she's going to think I'm nuts. But I know that everything that I had been doing up until that point, I have to just say what I hear, no matter what it is, because it's not for me. It's for the pet and the person to believe me. And for a message to get through. Not that they believe me. I don't care if they believe me or not. I want the person to leave with a message. And I want the animal to feel like it was heard. And so I told this woman, I said, you know, your dog told me he likes Mexican food, and he gave him some in the last 5 days. The prefaced it with, this is going to sound crazy, but, and she just stopped and said, I would never tell anybody that I gave my dog Taco Bell, let alone that I went through a drive-through and I eat Taco Bell.
That's funny.
She goes, when I gave him the Taco Bell, he nearly bit my fingers off.
That's so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I think, you know, throughout the day, I think the calmer I am, the more that I have my mind at peace, I do get intuitive thoughts about things and people. And on my reading, animal kept showing me what their father looked like, you know, or the daddy of the family. And sometimes that person is on a cane. So I said to this, you know, I said to a guy once, I said, you know, are you having, like, do you have a knee or low back problem? Because your dog's showing me that you're limping and you're using a cane. He goes, yes, it's my back. And I was like, okay. So I do get pictures. Most of all, I get a personality. Like I can feel the personality of an animal, and it's very unique. And sometimes I get, like I've talked to 2 cats, and they were these beautiful Persian cats. And oh my God, it felt like I was talking to someone that was living like in 1920 era. And the woman was so fine and refined. And then I talked to a dog the second time around. I talked to her shortly after she passed away, and a year after she was on the other side. I got a clear, pronounced Southern drawl out of her. And I told the owner that, and the owner's like, oh my God, I totally see her as that. And that's what, and I told some of the things that I saw the animal do. And then one time I talked to a deceased dog named Puppy, and it was the love of this woman's life. She had several dogs, her and her husband. And I said to the woman, I said, why is your dog telling me artist in Indian? And she said, well, I'm a fine artist, and my husband is Native American Indian. So that was like so cool, because then people really can feel like,
wow.
Oh, she really is.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you said something that caught my attention. So you said that when you were talking or getting messages from the cats, were you saying that they had past life experiences? Is that what you were saying?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, Angelica, I was born and raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school for 12 years, and there's nothing that could have gotten me ready for this one when I started to hear that animals were, had a job in their last life.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds crazy, but this man on Mother's Day, they had me on speakerphone, and as a gift to the mom of the family, they wanted me to talk to her favorite dog.
Mm.
So I read the dog, and I was not getting it was mom's dog. I was getting its dad's dog.
Mm-hmm.
I think they wanted to test me out or, flip it around. I don't know what they tried to do, but it was amazing that the dog kept saying, I'm Dad's dog, and I got to work with him every day. And he said to me, boy, am I glad I don't have to work anymore.
Oh.
And he kept making me feel like he had a job in his past life.
Mm-hmm.
And the man identified so much. He goes, out of my 3 Shih Tzus, I swear to God, this one looks human. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've looked at this dog and told my wife, this one is human. And he goes, out of my 3 dogs, this is the one I take to work every day.
You know what? I say that about my dog. I always tell people he is so human. I mean, he seems to understand everything I say. When I say something, he's like right there. Sometimes he knows. He is so human.
No.
But you know what, Susan?
He knows exactly.
Mm-hmm. He has a tumor and mass, and they've been coming and going. Let me check. I know we might have some people here, so I need to check if there's any questions with the attendees here. Okay, we're fine. If you have any questions, go ahead and put the questions or send them to angelicaunderwood@me.com. That's right, me.com. You can send us questions, and then we'll go ahead and also answer them on Facebook if you have any questions for me or Susan, and we would love to answer them and have a dialogue regarding animal intuition. It's really exciting. It's really important that we all understand this skill, because intuition just means connecting with yourself and learning how to communicate with everything that exists, everything that surrounds us. It's really, really important that we begin to get that, because when everything is in alignment within yourself, then things start showing up for yourself, and then animals will begin to show up for you as well. And you know what? I truly believe that my dog showed up for me. I really do believe that.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I also, when you say your dog is human, I remember I used to walk my dog with a girl that was from Thailand, and she was Buddhist, and she's very, very bright. And she was one of my first readings with her dog, and it was pretty amazing, because I'm telling her, I really am getting that these dogs are souls. I'm really getting that each kind of has a different personality, like huge personality, most of them have. And even if they're about to cross over, sometimes if their life force is still strong, I will get a very distinct personality. Even if they're half gone, I still get a distinct personality. And she said to me, well, in Buddhism, I never looked this up, but she said in Buddhism, they believe that that a person will reincarnate into a dog at least once in the soul's life. And I was like, wow. I mean, that's what she said. I've never looked it up, but I was like, oh, it makes sense to me.
Wow. Well, you know what? I think that we need to tell people how we met. You know, I met Susan on Facebook, and I meet a lot of people on Facebook. For those of you that are out there and you're entrepreneurs like Susan, if you have something unique and something inspiring, then I connect with you. And I found her on Facebook, and we met because Taylor Ashley, which you all met already, and if you haven't listened to her tape, the 4 laws of sexual enlightenment, we did that last week, and it was powerful. But Taylor went ahead and posted a YouTube video on this, what is it? Was it a mouse or a rat? Susan.
I'm sorry.
Was it a mouse or a rat, that the video, the YouTube video?
Oh my God, that video was amazing.
I think
I think it was a mouse.
Yeah, I think it was a mouse.
More like a mouse.
So it was a mouse, and the mouse fell in a trap, and then you see the mouse dying, and you see the soul leaving the body. I am so tempted in showing it. What do you think? Sharing that little...
Amazing, and I got a lot of mixed messages from it, but the people that did see it, that believe in this kind of stuff, were blown away, because it left so quickly, and that's really how I believe your soul would leave, that quickly, to just get into heaven.
Yes, and for those of you, if you're watching me here, I am looking at the Facebook because I want to just share that last piece. And I know it might seem gross, but it's really important that you get to see what we're talking about and experience how the soul really leaves the body. I know it's an animal, and a lot of people, there's contradictions. Why don't you talk about that, the contradictions about the soul, animals having souls?
Yeah, you know, I have a really good friend, and she said that her pastor said that animals don't have souls, but they have spirits. So I don't know what the difference is. I think it's too hard for people to grasp, because then we have to take responsibility for animals, right down to, you know, massive factory farming. Because although animals come in, they probably know there's going to be food in this lifetime. They don't deserve to be frightened or scared, and things should be done much more humanely. So, you know, I'm sure that there's a lot of controversy out there with animals having souls. I mean, the more I talk about it, sometimes people look at me like I'm crazy, and sometimes people look at me like, oh yeah, that definitely is the case. I definitely feel that way. And, you know, I'm not afraid to talk about it. You know, no matter what people say, I think that's the key. Like, you weren't afraid to post that mouse dying. It's kind of yucky to look at, but it's the last 43 seconds, you know, and I contacted you because I was so blown away. That's what made me contact you, and I said, is this real? Is this a legitimate person that sent this to you? And that's how you and I got on the phone and had a conversation about it.
Yes, and that's basically how we got in touch. I mean, through this video, and then I was just blown away on how this mouse dies, and the spirit is actually coming out of the body. I'm trying to look for it on Facebook, but as I'm looking, I'm still being concentrated and focused, believe me. I know that people say you can't multitask, but I'm very on top of what Susan is saying. Yes, yeah, and you know what? We do that all the time. But so tell us, I mean, what type of work, how can people find you? How can they connect with you?
Well, the best way to connect with me is through my website, because it's, you know, there's a portion there that says schedule a session, and I don't really want to know anything about your animal. I like it to be just like me figuring it out. And you can go to my website, schedule a reading, and you can upload a photo and answer my questions, which are really basic and really simple. And it's just the name of the pet and who the pet lives with. And if it's other animals, tell me what kind. And I don't want to know if it was a rescue dog. I just like to figure this all out myself. And then I email you back and I tell you when I can do the reading. And we schedule a time to talk. And there's always room for questions at the end. I always put it open for people that have questions at the end. Because sometimes there's real specific questions that I haven't answered that people want answered, and we can get to that at the end. Because my connection to the pet is even stronger when I get the person on the phone. So it's not that it's less strong when they're not on the phone. It's just that what I've heard is that when I'm actually doing the reading, the people know that I'm doing the reading because their cat will climb suddenly in the bathtub, and it just will walk in a way that the person is like, where are they going? You know, the animal is like feeling presence with them.
Oh, wow.
Present with the animal. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And then I go as long as the animal wants to speak, actually. I write and write and write. Some animals want to talk 3 to 4 pages. Some animals, that was a slip. People, you heard me say people. Some people want to talk for 10 pages. I try to get the whole message out to the owner, and that's like the key. My job is to be a messenger for the cat. That's what I'm here to do, is to be a pet messenger. That's kind of like what I feel I'm doing.
Right. Well, can we use my dog just for a sample for the audience on what you do? A short one?
Sure. Let me... You posted a picture, did you not?
I did. It's on Facebook.
And what's your dog's name?
His name is Archie.
Archie. Okay. And who does Archie live with?
He lives here with my son, Jorge, who is the one who got him, Jorge Vasquez, and Diego Vasquez, and myself, Angelica Underwood.
Okay. So your son, Jorge, Archie, and Archie is a Boston, right? It's
yes.
Not necessarily that I know the breed. Is he Boston or Frenchie?
Boston Terrier.
Yeah, Boston. And Jorge, your son, is the one who got him. And he lives with you, and who's the other person?
And Diego Vasquez, my youngest son.
Okay. And you can say Archie's name out loud 3 times?
Yes, Archie, Archie, Archie. I can even show him on YouTube. Come, Archie. Archie. Up here. Come. Oops.
So you have a home office, you work from home, Angelica?
I do.
Yeah, he loves this running. I see him running in the backyard. And he's incredibly bonded to you, but you already know that. And your son, Jorge, is he a teenager? Or is he
he's a 20.
He's out a lot. So you're really home with this dog full time.
Oh, yeah, I'm with him most of the time, and I'm the one that takes care of him.
I see him bringing you a bone or a toy. He likes to play, and I see him like wanting to get you out of your chair. And he like to the point where you are kind of like, okay, I'll play with you later. I gotta do this. Yeah. Is that kind of like how?
Yeah, he's always like he comes and climbs on me, and he's like calling my attention so I can take him outside or feed him or whatever he wants. But he has to come and call my attention. So.
Yeah, and he does that because he senses when you are working too hard or you're getting stressed.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of breaking a cycle.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
so he wants you to know that he's there to help break the cycle and to get you more involved in the fun stuff.
Okay. I have him right here. Wait, Archie, wait. Wait. I want to show him to the people that will be seeing us here.
He's really, really cute, and he's making you laugh a lot.
Yeah, that's him. Yes, he's really cute. He does have a little tumor, though.
And they found that it's nothing, and it just keeps growing back.
Yeah.
And so, have you tried any homeopathies to stop the tumor from growing?
I need to start something different for him because he
Yeah.
seems so healthy, but yet it keeps growing and coming back. So.
Yeah, I'm just feeling like this is a past life injury that this animal had in an incarnation before you. It didn't have to be that he was an animal before you either. But I feel like homeopathy instead of allopathic medicine, because it's not treating the real issue, which is an underlying problem. And, you know, this dog, you don't want him to have to go through surgery all the time, you know?
I know, I don't.
Fixing the underlying cause. And on my website, there's a homeopathic vet that I deeply admire. And you can get his link at the footer of my website as well. But I always said homeopathy as opposed to allopathic medicine. Allopathic is a regular vet. And I think the vet trains in homeopathy unless it's an emergency, of course, like your dog just swallowed something bad and you have to rush it to the hospital. Okay. It's a completely different story than, you know, doing an intake with a homeopatist.
Okay.
I don't feel or sense, you know, like, you know, you don't want to have to put this dog through surgery again and then.
Exactly, I don't want to do that. So, well, thank you very much. Thank you. Does anybody on the call have any questions? Go ahead and type them in the chat box, and then we're going to go ahead and read them if you have any questions. Like I said, if you're not on the call and you're going to listen to the replay, connect with us on Facebook. I'm Angelica Underwood, and you probably found me. And Susan, is it Joan Rini?
Joan, yeah. Susan Joan Rini, RINI,
Yes, and connect with us. Now, here's the YouTube that we were talking about. I'm just going to show the last part. I know it might gross some of you out, but just be patient with it and watch the ending. And there it goes. Did you guys see that? I'm going to rewind it just a bit. There it goes. And it's like really, really light energy. It's like a little shadow. There it goes. So it's on my page. So if you want to see it and view it yourself, go ahead and connect with me on my timeline, on my Facebook, and you will be able to get all the information you need. Well, Susan, I really love talking to you and learning about what you do. And I know that we'll be connecting even more. And there's going to be other opportunities where we're going to be connecting. Do you have anything else that you would like to share with the audience and somewhere that they might be able to connect with you? Give them your webpage. Did you do that?
Yeah, SusanJoanRini.com.
Okay.
And I think that the main thing is that my message is animals do have souls and they have a lot to say if only we would listen. And people do get a lot out of these animal readings because the animals always have, from my experiences, really fabulous messages for people. So it's so much more than just, you know, it's so much more than just finding out what treats your dog wants. I go way deeper. I go on a soul level with them, and it's pretty remarkable. You know, even to me to this day, I love doing it, and I love when people go. Just yesterday, I talked to a little dachshund that was rescued. You know, unfortunately, people when they are going through a crisis, please don't leave your pet in the house when you close and lock the door. Many shelters take your animal, you know, not animal control and a no-kill shelter if you tell them what's going on in your life. There were 2 dogs left in a foreclosed home, and my client adopted an 11-year-old dachshund. It was amazing. You know, most people don't want old dogs, but this dog has brought this woman so much joy. And I talked to the dog, and the first thing this dog said to me was, "Hi, my name's Ellen. I am a love bug." And she made me write it, like big letters, LOVEBUG. And she said, "I miss my brother. I wonder what happened to him." So I told the woman, "Your dog is talking about that she is a love bug." And the woman said, "Oh my God, I call her that. I don't even call her name. That's her name, love bug. I call her that all day long."
Oh my, that's beautiful.
So I said, "Well, when the rescue found your dog, was there another dachshund that she's calling her brother?" And the woman said, "I'm going to call the rescue tomorrow. It's like a mile away from my house." Well, the woman called me the next day, and sure enough, she was found with another dachshund.
Oh.
We don't know if it was her brother, but it was another dachshund, and that one got rescued right away. And then there was her that stayed there. So, you know, these are the kind of things that I live for. They're so exciting to me. And I love doing this, so I'll never say no to it.
You know what? It's beautiful. I mean, especially dogs. I really love dogs. So if there's anybody out there that you love animals and you have an animal in the home and you want to know more and connect.
I don't know what it is. I mean, I talk to fish. I've talked to frogs.
Oh my God.
Hamsters. I talked to a deceased Russian hamster, and the reading was amazing. I'm still friends with the woman to this day.
Oh.
We're friends. So I can talk to anything. That's creature, like 4-legged, 2-legged, wild animals. Anything that's, you know. And I've talked to rabbits, fish, frogs, turtles.
That's just wonderful. That's wonderful. So I really highly recommend Susan. Get in touch with her, connect with her so that you can connect with your animal. You need to find people like her that will help you. If you're just joining us or if you're just listening to this replay, then Susan's the person to connect with so that you can connect with your loved animals, your pets, or animals that you're concerned about. Bring Susan into your home, into your life, and to your animal's life, and she will help you connect with them at a different level. Some of you listened to the information she gave me about Archie, and it was all, me and her had not talked about Archie, let's put it that way. We talked about the mouse experience and the soul and what she did and how I can bring her on the show, but I don't think I mentioned Archie. I'm not quite sure that I did.
No, I didn't actually even know you had a dog because we never talked about it.
Exactly. So that was beautiful. Again, I really, really want to thank you, Susan, and you can say any last words to our audience. We're almost close to the end of the show.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Angelica, for having me on. I really enjoy talking about this. I never get tired of sharing the messages that I get, and I would love to talk to your animal, whether deceased or still living, and SusanJoanRini.com is the website, and you can schedule a reading through my website, and I look forward to connecting with you and your pet.
Okay. Well, thank you, Susan. I'm going to end the show, and I will send you a copy of this YouTube so you can share it with your loved ones and your friends and family.
Great. Thanks,
Okay.
Angelica. Have a great night.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, and for those of you that are still with me and you're still listening, I really like to connect with you. I have different people that come on my show. I always talk about the power of intuition. If you haven't listened to that part at the beginning because you're just showing up on the call, then you need to go back and listen to the beginning. I always talk about a code of the day, and today I shared the code of the whole month, which is a beautiful energy that it's bringing us. So get in touch with your intuition. Begin to listen to the patterns that you see. In fact, I was in Arkansas, Russellville, Arkansas, and we went to Mount Ida, and we were there in Hot Springs on our way to Mount Ida. And we stopped at this crystal place. And as I was walking through the crystals, this one, it's called the selenite roses, called my attention. And when I stood by it, it made me very, very dizzy. It was like, whoa. And I told my friend Nora, I said, Nora Dykema, I said, you know what? I felt very, very dizzy. So then I got 2 more of these selenite roses. They're beautiful. For those of you that are out there, I want you to see them. And when I took them in my hand, immediately I got this download of, and I saw like a planet, a big planet. And then I asked Joseph Senner, who was with us, he is on the show The Ridiculous Hour, and I said, Joseph, what does the Milky Way represent to you? And he's telling me all this information, and it was amazing information. Then when I got there to the retreat that we were having, a lady went ahead and held it, and she's like, oh my God, I see a planet. So there, patterns. We were both seeing and hearing the same information at the same time. Then I came home, and my little Chanel, I'm going to call her right now, so if you don't mind me calling her Chanel, she went ahead and got it in her hand, and she said, I see a moon. You know, she's 4 years old. I don't know if she even knows what a planet looks like, but we were all picking up the same information. So it was beautiful. Okay. Oh, well, Susan just left the call right now, but Tanya, I am going to connect you on Facebook with her so that we can ask her that question, because I was just kind of closing the whole show, and I want your answer to be answered as well. So Tanya, Susan, I'm hoping that you are listening to the replay as well, and I'm sure you will. She is saying that her sister just moved into her new place, and she wants to know if her dog likes her new home. So if you can answer that question for her on Facebook, that would be beautiful, Susan. Just because we had a brave soul ask a question. So thank you for Tanya for asking. Christy's saying great conversations, and she's saying thank you to both of us. But I really want to thank all of you. And if you're really interested in what your soul has to say and your blueprint so that you can connect with your soul and be on purpose, I recommend an astronumerology profile. And I do that for you, and we look at the planets, we look at the numbers, and that way you begin to break the code, because it's really important that you understand your challenges and you understand your strengths so that you can be able to shift. Have you ever heard of the 7 years of wealth and the 7 years of famine, where you're going to struggle with things? And when you know that you're going to struggle, then you're able to prepare. And in fact, when that message was delivered, I don't know if it was David, somebody help me, but he was, no, it wasn't David. I can't remember right now. My brain went blank. But anyways, they were able to plan ahead, and instead of suffering through uh, the those moments of struggle, they had plenty of food and plenty of money to be able to give to people. In fact, they were selling it to other cities in their surroundings. I apologize, it has to come to me. And they were able to make money and instead of suffering. So these blueprints will help you also be able to be on purpose. And I give everybody 100% discount when you're on my calls, and if you want to take action, you have to send me either a private message saying you're interested, so I give you that promotional code and I give you the link, and connect with Susan Joan so that you can connect with your animals. But anyways, I really want to thank everybody. Have a wonderful evening or morning wherever you're at. I've had people from France, from India, from across the globe listening in, and I am so happy to connect with you. And you have a blessed day, and namaste to all of you. Stay tuned to your guiding system because it will help you make the right decisions. I will see you later. Take care. Bye, guys.